Gold just sold off about 4%. Where is it going to go from here? What's going on, guys? My name is Ben, and today in this video, I will be covering where I think gold could go from here. Right now, we're actually we landed on a specific line that one of my that my indicator Terra line actually printed for me. So I was watching this and I was looking, I was like, well, that's interesting where it ended up landing. And so I put my indicator on, and sure enough, I mean, right here, right into this zone is exactly where it stopped. And so, really, what we're waiting for, and what a lot of folks are waiting for at this particular level, is a break of this structure. And so let's actually go ahead and put this on the chart here as well. So this is, I really like using this just here and there. um, the fixed range volume profile. You can actually grab this on TradingView. It's just a free little tool that they have, and essentially what this does is this shows you where most of the volume is in that particular range. And so you can see right here, when it did sell off, I mean, there's an empty gap right here. There's an empty space, there's an empty void. And so essentially what that means is if it does end up coming and break out of this structure right here, out of all this volume, and it does, make its way up here, this could really mean that it could just fly right back up to this zone. And in particular, that is what I'm thinking. That is exactly what I'm thinking could happen. Obviously, it could happen the same way to the downside. And so you see that big volume node right here. It could easily come back down into this zone right here. So really two different scenarios, two different scenarios that I'm watching. My particular bias here is that we're going to see a small little bounce. We'll see a small little bounce. I don't know if it could reach all the way back to all-time highs. Seeing that this is just a quick, there isn't really a lot of structure right there. If it does break out of this mess right here, it could very easily go back to all-time highs. Now, there's a lot of downside as well to this. Number one is it's just rocketing to the upside. Um, and so there's a lot of different levels down below here. And if it does break this area right here at so we're at like 433 right now, 4,331 right now. I say if we get below 4,300 and it starts breaking below that, it most likely will start to head down into this structure down here at like probably like the 4,200, probably like the 4,200 range back into this volume node right here. So you can see that right there. There's just a lot of strong volume in this price point and then that price point. So you can see that kind of the levels are mapped out. So pretty much a trade that I am interested in. I actually just grabbed a quick, just a cheap little call option here. You just never know, because I think that if it does break out of this, I think that it could go back into this structure up here quickly, like almost like a V pattern, right? And so the V pattern that I'm looking for is this one right here. So you see the same exact scenario played out. So let's actually go back into this time, and there was pretty much the exact same scenario. It wasn't quite. So the trend line was all the way down here. Let's actually see that 4-hour trend line. Yeah, the trend line down there. But there was this one that it still didn't quite hit, and I believe was there one more? Yeah, there was this one that it actually broke. So they're actually, now since I'm looking at it, there actually wasn't exactly how it's playing out. And really, when you look at these charts, nothing is ever exactly what it was, currently. But this particular one, this was just a strong V pattern where it just shot up after a couple days here, and just went right back into all-time highs. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking that we could potentially see here. This sell-off, I don't even think it was more into the coming into a trend line, more so as it was just kind of breathing a little bit, because it was just crazy strong, just absolutely crazy strong. And that's could be what we're seeing here. It, maybe again, gold could be tricky, right? Gold could be very tricky, and you got to be careful with it. That's why I kind of like to do these, a strong sell-off, try to get that V pattern. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. What it could also do, what could definitely also do is stay into this zone right here, and so it just kind of just chops. But I don't see that playing out. I really think that we're going to get those strong moves up or strong move down. Again, my particular bias is it's going to go up for a quick little V pattern, then come right back down, and that's kind of what I'm thinking right there. So let's remove all those drawings. So like I said, guys, that's just a quick little analysis that I have on gold. Again, I'm not going to be 100% correct on every single play that I make, but we can watch the chart, we can look at different levels, and we can kind of make decisions based on that. What I'm seeing here is that I'm seeing that this trend line is getting respected, and actually, if you even look at this even further, we are starting to make a triangle pattern here, and so we could definitely see that come and break this. Even though some would even say that this could even be a bearish pattern as well. So down, sideways, down again. So again, this is a very critical level for gold. I think that once we see where this breaks to either the upside or downside, I think that's where we're going to be heading. And what I would want to see for the upside is I want to see this level broken. So this is actually what the indicator pointed out. This is actually our resistance to the upside. So this is the resistance. We got to break that and close above that on some of these lower time frames here. Then I think we can make that V pattern. If it doesn't do that quickly, I think that we'll either see a little bit of chop here and then back down into this level, or that's pretty much the only scenario that I can see other than the quick little V pattern. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. This quick little video of gold. This is one of my favorite things to trade. And then if you are so based on what I said, a call option, I went into GLD. And so this is what you could trade if you are wanting to get into options, or describing even some shares. You could do GLD, you could do GDX. Either of those usually track pretty well. This was an interesting that I saw here on GDX. This was a really nice level that it stopped at as well. But again, it's going to follow gold. So whatever gold is going to do, these I really don't put all that much weight into these. All my weight goes into the actual gold price. Because everything will pretty much follow from there. It won't be exactly the same, but you can even see that right there. This broke a little bit farther than the GDX, but I mean, ultimately, like we can even throw GDX on the chart here, and they move pretty similar. They move pretty similar to each other. Some will go up a little bit quicker than the other one, but very, very, very similar at those. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be That's gonna be a wrap on this video. Good luck trading gold if you're gonna be trying to trade this thing. It's been a wild ride for gold, but I think it has one more push left, and then we'll probably start to see some sell-off. And I believe that we're going to start to see money flowing into crypto, onto the alts, into Bitcoin, into Ethereum. So I think that's going to happen relatively soon. I think we got one more push for gold, and then that'll happen. But again, obviously, nobody really knows. If somebody comes in here and they say this is what's going to happen, they are a snake oil salesman because they don't know. But we can watch the charts and we can make a logical decision based on that. So, all right, that's going to be it for this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.